is excited? Because I am, and I should not be left solo. So who else is excited? I know we all are super duper delighted to be here on this very refreshing episode of our new year, opening for the bookshelf. Thank you very sincerely for being a very wonderful, amazing, tenacious, what other words? You just amazing. I think that encapsulates the whole thing all through the previous editions of the bookshelf. We are here again this new year, and so help us God, it promises to be bigger, it promises to be better, it promises to be more enlightening. It promises, of course, to be more eye-opening and much more than us just talking. We are going to go much more into the doing as well. So help us God. The Bookshelf is a program that airs live on Western Spring Television, where we get to bring you updates on education, everything about learning, as long as it has a relationship with book, whether it's a person, whether it's inanimate. So far, it has a relationship with books. Everyone, everything that has a relationship with books is welcome right here on this platform of the Bookshelf. I am your teaching and learning advocate. My name is Damilola Raphael. Delighted to be making a return today on the Bookshelf. Now, in preceding years, we had mandates, as I would call it. We had themes that guided us through each year. We set targets with these themes, and if you were unable to hit targets with some of these themes, it's just like I always say, your birthday. You don't wait until that day before you say, okay, so it is now my birthday and then I can do something about it. Every day reads until that new year, all right? Now, we had for the year 2023, write a book. And we said to break it down, make it easy for everybody, is for us to basically write a journal. You could start with that. Just go ahead and write a journal. Document your day-to-day activities. This is what I've been able to achieve today. These are my experiences for today. These are the things that were expected of me. These are my failures. I said, why do we shy away from that? Why? No, you shouldn't. So the more you shy away from it, the more failures a person would record. So why don't you just face it head on? They say he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day, right? So just go ahead and face it head on. I recognize you, I identify you, and I'm gonna deal with you. It's as simple as that, and you win. Okay? So for that, the very first season of the bookshelf, the mandate, the theme was for us to write a book, and we said to write a journal. Just document every day your experiences, what you've encountered, your shortfalls, what you're able to achieve. Put it down. And kudos to all those who were able to do that. Now for the second year, the second season of the bookshelf, what did we say to do? We set ourselves on task, and we said for us to learn a new language. Learn a new language. And we said at the end of the year, we should be able to make a minimum of 5 meaningful sentences in that new language. Minimum 5 sensible sentences in that language. I hope you were able to do your assignment, because I did mine. And as I would always say, that things can always get better. The fact that now we are done with the second season and moving into the third season does not mean we should stop learning the new language. I mean, what's your level of proficiency? Anything worth doing at all is worth doing well, right? If you have picked that language, we didn't force a language on us on the bookshelf. We didn't come on the bookshelf to say, you must learn the English language. You must learn XYZ language. Just learn a new language. All right, so go ahead and get better with that particular language. You chose that language for whatever reasons best known to you, and go ahead now. If it was a difficulty that you've had and all that, maybe you stayed in a particular place and a particular language was spoken and you had issues with it and all, yes, go ahead and do well to get better at it, and then I won't give you another mandate, but you could go ahead and teach others too, right? Because somebody made it possible for you to learn that language, be able to speak it in the second season, even if it was just 5 sentences, 5 meaningful, 5 reasonable sentences you're able to make with the language. Go ahead and then teach another person as well. So for this third season of the bookshelf, we are going to take on a new task. We are going to be setting a new target for ourselves. And somebody said, why do you always say it's simple? Because it's just simple. It's just simple. See, you need to win here first, okay? Win here first. Once you get it right here, every other thing will fall into place. And what is the target we're setting for ourselves this week? Yes, the word mandate. Our mandate for this year is to complete a book. Basically or majorly complete reading a book. But because we have from the first season of the bookshelf, folks who haven't finished writing, there are things you remember that happened in the first season, or there are things going on in your life right now and you feel you should document it and maybe make it into a book. Why not? If not, complete writing a book. But basically, the real original focus is to complete reading a book. There are so many people who are guilty of picking up materials and then dumping it on page 5, on page 8, page 10, page 250 when they are still going to 470. Who did you leave the remaining to 24? So complete a book. Now, if you fall into the category of those who should complete reading a book, by all means, go ahead. If you fall into the category of those who should complete writing a book, by all means, please go ahead. Oh, no, you don't understand. I've gotten much more busier. I have so much more to do now. Much more work on my plate. My desk is always filled. Those are excuses. And you know something I learned about excuses? They belittle you. So quit those excuses and go ahead. Do what you should do. You make out time for sleep, you make out time for meals, you make out time for social media, you make out time to hang out, you make out time to go shopping, you make out time for parties, you make out time for even your hair, you do make out time for body grooming. Don't you have your bath? Make out time to complete reading as well. You could do 5 minutes. It's as little as that. You could do 5 minutes, you could do 10 minutes per day. Make it per day. It will help you. Even if it's 2 sentences you're able to scribble, just make sure you do it per day. Do something every day. And before you know it, it will become a habit. Don't do it per week. Don't do it per month because you're not going to get a wage or a salary. So do it per day because your reward, there's just this fulfillment. We'll go into that though, why you should and how you can complete a book. Especially remember, we said the major focus is that we should complete reading a book. But for the sake of those who want to write or who are writing, then go ahead and complete writing a book. Complete a book, basically. That is the theme. That is our subject of focus for this new season of the bookshelf right here on Western Spring Television. This is getting interesting. Now, before we go into details on why you should complete reading a book or how you can actually complete a book. Okay, don't let me use reading or writing, right? Let's just say complete a book. Good. Let me bring us this information. We keep working to get better and deliver value to you, dear viewer. And one of the things we're going to be including in this season for the bookshelf is to be bringing you news round, bringing you updates on education, all right, around the world. There are some very juicy news reports that have been trending since the beginning of this new year, this new season, and we'll be letting you in on just, a couple of them. You want to get the full gist, watch the news. If there is anyone you miss on the news, then it's the bookshelf is going to tell us something. Remember, it's going to be centered around education. It's going to be centered around education. Anyone that does not touch education, we will not touch, okay? So let's move on and talk about why it is important that you complete a book, why it's important that you complete a book. The brain rewards completion. Remember, I said you have to start here, you need to win here, you need to begin here. finish it up here, set that target, win, see it as achievable, and then you go ahead and do it. So the psychological benefits, there is just this thing your brain feels, right? Your brain just feels, I feel good. And then you're just sitting there pretty and by yourself. Maybe you're on the bus, you're waiting at the bus stop, you're at the park, you know, you're sitting at your desk, maybe in school, maybe at work, you're waiting at the reception for somebody, and there's just this smile. You just, ever had that feeling? Oh my goodness. That's one of the things we want for you to have again and again and again. It should not be a one-off thing that you have this sense of fulfillment. You know, you have chores and then I need to finish this chore, I need to complete that task, I have this assignment. This one now, why? Why is it that when that assignment is given to you by somebody else, maybe at work and all that, you feel this need to do it, you feel the urgency, and then you push yourself to. But when it comes to you, you feel, okay, so since there is nobody that is going to beat me, you don't need to be beaten. Listen, you are worth it. You are worthy. Be responsible, be answerable and accountable to yourself as well. Okay? Be answerable to yourself. Be responsive to yourself. Be kind to yourself. And one of the ways you can be kind to yourself is not just material things. We've talked about gifting yourself stuff in previous seasons and episodes of the bookshelf. Go beyond material things. Do yourself some mental good. Do yourself some psychological good. And one of the targets is bookshelf that set the target. Let me behave like my Southwest people, Southwest Nigeria people. They will go, oh man, you have watched this. You're hearing this. So help you God, you're going to see it on, you know, different persons across different platforms. There is no escaping this. So because of the psychological benefits of it, your brain just has this feel-good hormones that's been released, and then you feel you've been able to achieve something, you've been able to accomplish something. Even if on all other sides, all other aspects of your life, it looks like you're not, there are just deficiencies here and there. The fact that you were able to complete a book, whether reading or writing, to yourself, there's this fulfillment that you're feeling beyond what other people on the outside may be looking at. There are other many benefits, but I'm just going to be giving us these little tips here and there because we have a whole lot to cover for today. So I'll take this very quick breather. When we come back on the other side of it, we are going to be looking at one more example of why. I'm going to be reading somebody's write-up, okay? That's why. Leave it until the other side. Why you should complete a book. We'll look at how, and then we'll do the news round. I'll be back after this quick breather. Thank you very sincerely for keeping faith with us right here, Western Spring Television's The Bookshelf, where we look into everything and everyone who has a relationship with books. So we left off on the other side talking about why you should read. And there was a book launch over recently. Let me leave it at that. It was over the weekend. And the book reviewer, somebody said, hello, Uncle L.O. That's talking about Dr. Lasisi Olagunju. He was the book reviewer right there, reviewing the book Persona Non Grata by Ismail Omekwidon. And he said something about being a reviewer. And then he also touched on how that he did not just, so I'll just go to that paragraph right there, where he said he talked about the dangers, you know, and you should go and read it. It's online, all right. It's just there on the internet. Go and check it out. Lasisi Olagunju's review of the book Persona Non Grata by Ismail Omikwido. So I'll just go. He talked about the dangers of people reviewing books such that even the author was too dishonest to confess that he didn't read his own book. Not to talk of the book reviewer reading from blurbs and all that. But let me quote this part. It says, "So, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I want to solemnly affirm that I have read the book I am reviewing today. I took time to fine-comb it from the front of the cover, the title page, table of contents, the copyright page, the initial chapters that deal with what Omikwido describes as his father's undying love and his mom's unfulfilled wish. I moved from there and dashed across the labyrinths of the remaining chapters while the real action are then to a motley part where he describes his reflections, and finally to the back of the cover where we have a brief on the author and the blurb." Did you see that? Somebody of his status could say, "I'm busy. I don't have the time. Okay, just give me an idea. What did you write? Since it's a memoir, just gist me. Okay, I will come." No, he took his time. It's painstaking, but please, it's the price worth paying. Complete a book. Very important. So I'll move on from right there and we'll talk about how you can actually finish reading a book. I said I'm not going to be talking about either reading or writing. So how you can complete a book. And one of the things that can help you is to do a variety. Except you're studying, all right, you're in school and you have this demand on you, then you can go ahead and focus on specifics. But if you're reading as a pastime, you're not in school, you need information, I would implore you to be like me, be like us, myself and my colleagues, where we say broadcaster is somebody who knows something about everything. A teacher is somebody who knows something about everything. Broadcasters are teachers, by the way. So go ahead and do a variety. As I said, if you're not going into specifics, another thing you can do is pause. That's talking about limits. Pause and continue. Limit yourself. Limit yourself in terms of time. I can allot 5 minutes to this per day and be consistent with that 5 minutes. And then pause and continue. Within that 5 minutes, everything in the world will happen. You're remembering, you've not eaten, you have this other task. So many distractions. Attend to those distractions and quickly continue, because remember, you have a limited time allotted to that particular task. It is a task, all right? Another one is routine. Create a routine around it. Looks like if I'm trying to spend my my lunch, all right, my lunch hour break, reading or writing, trying to complete this book, whether you're reading or you're writing, there are distractions. I can't even focus. That's when this one is calling, needing my attention for this. That's when I'm told to come and breastfeed my baby. That's when I'm told that the chairman wants to see me. That's when I'm told that the director is in need of my attention. You could look for a time while you're commuting. If you're not the one driving, why not just pick up a book and then read? Or why not just pick up your notepad and begin to write? However it is, make sure that you are setting a routine for yourself to be able to achieve or accomplish this particular task that we've set for ourselves. Another thing is accountability. Remember, we said that we should be responsive to ourselves. You could have an accountability partner, somebody, and it could just be, it may not be deliberate. It could just happen, oh, I read XYZ book, or I wrote ABC thing, and then before you know, the person comes to you and you could build a relationship from there. It may not be so specific, because sometimes you could say, okay, so if I tell this person, he or she will tell me he's busy, she's busy, and all that. So work on accountability. Perseverance is also very important. You have to persevere. It's hard. It's not easy, but it is worth it. Just like you are worthy, right? Okay. And then finally, gradually increase. You could start with small books, all right? If you're reading, for instance, you could start with very small books, light materials, and then you increase to bigger ones over time. So let us move on. We'll be wrapping up with this very interesting aspect we're bringing on in this new season of the bookshelf, and that's talking about bringing you updates, bringing you news, revolving around the world as touching education. And the first one I want to take from right here, let's start from Nigeria. This report, very interesting report right here. The NNPCL CEO, he had his birthday recently, and then he posted on X. I'll just read it in part. He said, Allah by his grace spared my life to this exceptional day, making it my 60th year from birth, even much earlier on the Hijri calendar. He's a Muslim. I am profoundly grateful to my country for allowing me to grow from an Almajiri school pupil to become the CEO of Africa's largest energy company. Education. And if you look to the end of that post right there, he talked about his teachers, his gratitude to his teachers, talking about, he said, my deep appreciation to my family, friends and associates, my colleagues at work, and my teachers, Western and of Almajiri extractions, and many unmentioned people who account for many of my accomplishments, unconditional support, and my overall well-being. Education. Somebody said, Odichakwa, very important. So that's the NNPCL CEO talking about education. He started from somewhere not so neat, not so desirable, but he is in a place now that is so desirable. These little things, you know, it's like the human body made up of teeny bits of cells that makes up this whole being that you are, this whole being that I am. So do not despise the days of your little beginnings. Let's move on to another report right here. We should go to West Africa. Shall we? That report on West Africa right there, saying that WAEC has introduced receipt examinations for WASC candidates. So you don't have to wait until the next year before you receipt. You could just start writing the exam circa January, February. It says the West African Examinations Council has introduced receipt examinations for candidates. This was said to allow them to retake their West African senior secondary examination papers as early as January and February 2025. So if you're hearing this, please tell somebody who needs this, this information. And we'll be bringing you, this is a developing story, we'll be bringing you more on that. And finally, let's go to the world, the English-speaking world, the world of English speakers. Shall we? Japa Eba and other Nigerian words and slangs added to Oxford's dictionary. The Oxford English Dictionary, OED, just added 20 Nigerian words that people commonly use in Nigeria. These words come from Nigerian Pidgin English, street language, and culture. Many of these words are so common in Nigeria that people use them every day. These words include 419, agbero, and on like that. So we have moved from Nigeria to West Africa and to the English-speaking world. And here is where we get to draw the curtain on this episode of The Bookshelf. I look forward to more rewarding episodes in this new season that we are in. And remember, it's the season of completion where we get to complete a book. My name is Damilola Raphael, requesting that you share, that you like, you interact with this post wherever it is you see it, and of course, get other people to watch us live on Western Spring Television, channel 190 on Star Times. Your teaching and learning advocate, Damilola Raphael, saying goodbye and God bless.